What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I have got a great video for you guys today. Well, at least I think it's great. Hopefully you guys do too. Today we're gonna go check some trail cameras. I know it's been a little while. A couple videos ago I popped up a trail camera, had a little trouble with another one, but today we're gonna go check out the one camera that I did have up. Hopefully I've got something on there. It is bow season here in Wisconsin, archery season, and I haven't been out yet. I don't even have my license purchased. But depending on what shows up on this camera, I might want to try to get out a little sooner than later. So I've got high hopes. Hopefully there's something decent that shows up. Did pick up some nice sheds last year, and I know there were some decent bucks around then that probably needed another year or two. So hopefully this year some of those guys show up. But before I get to that, I've also got something extra special today, or at least I think it's extra special, to show you guys a little bit of a surprise. And I guess without further ado, there's a new member to the Hunt Fish Drive family, and it might not be the type of member that you're thinking of, but I'll spin you around here and kind of show you what I got. There she is. Excited? Okay, I'm excited. I just picked up this Grand Cherokee. It's my new hunting and fishing machine. I've still got the Duramax and I'll still be driving that, but I figured I'd pick this guy up. I've always had kind of a thing for these Jeep WJs, the 99 to 04s, and the price was right on this and I couldn't pass it up. So I'll show it to you guys a little bit here. It does have some rust. There's a few things, you know, being in Wisconsin, pretty much unavoidable, and this is a 2000 model. So there's some rust on the hood, and then there's a little bit underneath, but otherwise it looks pretty good. These Laredos with this plastic kind of hide some of that rust pretty well, which is good for me. It does have the V8. It's got the 4.7, which is not bad. I've actually been averaging on the highway. I can get about 24.5 miles per gallon at 60, taking it easy on the 2-lane roads. I'm sure on the interstate it'd probably be not quite as good, but it does have a 4-speed automatic. But in these years, you could reflash it to get a 5th gear. It was built with at least 5 speeds. I think it had like 7. But you could just get the PCM reflashed, and this one's been done, so it does shift into 5th, which is like a 2nd overdrive. So it cruises along really nice. 4-wheel drive. It's got brand new tires on it. It is. I'll kind of show you the interior. It's just a cloth interior, but it's in pretty good shape. It's got a few cracks and stuff. It does have the moonroof and power seats and stuff. It's got the Select-Track 4-wheel drive, so it's not full-time. It's got the selectable with 2 high and then 4 high, 4 low. Oh, it's got a Bluetooth stereo in there, which is kind of nice. I know that's somebody added that in, but it's a nice little option to get, especially for the price. Now, this guy, it's got 180,000 on it. Like I said, it's got a few little issues and things I'll have to take care of. But as far as a hunting and fishing rig, it's exactly what I wanted. I ended up picking this up for 900 bucks, and I figured with the brand new tires and new battery, everything like that, it's well worth that price. And it's really not in too bad a shape. I mean, it's got a few dents and dings, but that just adds character to me. And I don't mind taking it, fishing or in some brush or something like that then. But yeah, hopefully you guys you'll see some more of this quite a bit. Actually, I'll probably be driving it most of the time here this winter, especially once they start throwing salt on the roads, because I just hate taking the Duramax out and putting more rust on it than it already has. So yeah, I'll be driving this thing a bit, and hopefully kind of as how it relates to the channel, I'll probably be doing some minor things, to make it just even better at hunting and fishing type purposes. Hauling rods for fishing and stuff like that. So I'll hopefully, end up doing a few things to it here and there, and like I said, you'll probably see me driving it quite a bit. So that was the big announcement today, but now we're gonna go get on to the trail camera portion of this show. I'm gonna run up and check that one camera that I've got up. I did bring another one down. I'm not sure if I'm gonna pop it up today or not. I may bring my side-by-side down to do that. I usually like taking that to pull these cameras. Just makes things a lot easier, and I leave less scent, and I just feel like it spooks the deer less, so I'll probably do that. One other thing you'll notice down here is that we've been doing some work lately, finally, I guess. This culvert here has been washed out pretty much all summer. I'll show you guys this culvert. Finally got the excavator down here, and I've been doing some work. It's not finished yet, but at least we can get across now. Here, I'll spin you around. So yeah, you can see the culvert's fixed. Got that done. I didn't do it, my dad did it, but got a couple new culverts in. We're gonna try to get some riprap in here and keep it from washing out again. But I think for now it does the trick. At least we can get across with the ATVs and tractors. So that's pretty good. It's also wider than it used to be, which is a lot nicer. So that's good. That means he's been able to mow, which is awesome. Now I do not have to charge through all that deep grass and brush. That was just kind of a mess a few videos ago. And now I can at least, if I do have to walk, I can get up to those spots quite easily. So that being the case, I'm gonna head up and pull that camera, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. I should probably mention, here's what we've been using to kind of do some of these cleanup tasks and culverts. We're pretty fortunate to have this. You know, my brother owns this equipment. Some of it, my dad owns some other pieces. We've got excavators and bulldozers and stuff like that, which makes it really nice for doing food plots, you know, making roads, stuff like that. I mean, you can get a lot of work done with this thing in a day. So that's been kind of nice. We've been using that to clean some other things up around here, and then also put culverts in and fix some roads. And we'll probably bring the dozer down at some point. I think I mentioned it this spring, but we just haven't had a chance to get it down here this summer. And then we've got some old tractors for mowing and stuff like that. Nothing fancy, but you know, the tractors seem to do the trick for what we need. We're very you know, lucky to have some of this stuff. I've done a lot of work with just the ATVs and, you know, pulling discs and things, but it's nice if you've got a little tractor to kind of do some of that work as well. And certainly the excavator makes a big difference when you're tackling some of the bigger jobs. But all right, I'm gonna keep going up there and get that card swapped out. Well, so far so good. Camera's still here, so that's always a bonus. And the other thing is that this homemade DIY trail cam mount, which I'll put a link to the video right here, seems to be doing the trick. Trail camera's still in the same spot. Didn't slip down, didn't do anything. Nothing tore down, so that's good. And the other thing is that there's still some activity on this trophy rock. It looks like it's torn up a little bit yet. I know there's fresh tracks, so we'll see. Maybe something has been coming through here. The other thing about this spot is this, not only does it have the mineral there, which, you know, I know the deer kind of, or the bucks kind of lay off a little bit now, but it's also a pretty good travel corridor through here. There's a bunch of trails that come out and kind of converge and come into this little used to be a food plot last year and several years before. This year it's kind of went fallow on us, but we have been able to mow it down. But so yeah, they kind of come out here and travel through there. So hopefully we got something. I'm gonna pull this card out, swap it out, see how many pictures we got, and then I'm gonna take it home right away. I think I'm gonna leave the rest of the farm alone and not go mess with any more cameras. It's getting a little late in the day, and actually it's getting quite late in the day. It's in the evening, and I'll just come back with side-by-side maybe this weekend and do it on a, you know, midday type thing. That's usually when I like to do that work. But let's see what we got for pictures here. Uh, 1,604 pictures. So that's quite a few. I think I might have to change my battery or my settings on the camera. The good thing though is the battery still says 100%, which is huge. I switched to those lithium ions and man, they seem to be really dominating. So I'm gonna flip it here and change the card and probably change the settings to put a little more delay on it. Let's give that a whirl. Well, that thing was set on a 1-minute delay. So I'm not sure. It seemed like it should hold more pictures than 1,600. I had a 4 gig card in here. I just popped a 2 gig in, and it still said 1,600 max. So we'll see what I've got. I think in the past I was able to capture quite a few more, but I did change the delay to 5 minutes. So we'll see if that helps a little bit. I thought 1 would be good, but I think it's doing a 2-photo burst as well. So that could be filling it up pretty quick. And I won't leave it as long this time. It's been almost a month, I think, 3 weeks to a month. So now I'll try to check it in the next week or so and see what we got. But let's get out of here. I'm excited to go back home and check what's on the card. So let's do that now and I'll show you guys what I get. All right, so I weeded through all the pictures and had a whole bunch of does and fawns on there and a lot of real young bucks, which is, I guess, to be expected since like I mentioned before, and I think everybody kind of knows that, you know, once the bucks go hard horn, they kind of stay off the mineral a bit. But But in any case, I did get some, decent 2.5-year-old, 3.5-year-old deer. So I'll kind of start here with this guy. I think 2.5, but a nice deer. You notice he's kind of got a funky antler on one side, so I kind of like that. Seems like we have a bunch of those guys around, but the reason I like it is for the fact that it's kind of easy to follow them as long as they kind of keep that similar trait. Year after year, you can kind of follow those guys. Not that I get a lot of real old deer around, but it is nice to kind of have an identifying mark on them. So that was that guy. Another nice little deer here. I think this is a 10. I'm pretty sure I had one more picture of him, but he's a young deer. Real short brows, spindly antlers, but still a nice looking little deer. Give him a couple more years and he could be a real stud. Did have one of these guys on camera. I think there were a couple different pictures, but this is probably the best one. We've been picking up quite a few bears lately, and this guy's kind of moving through as well. I don't know. We'll see. I did see some other pretty good amount of bear sign down there, so we'll see how many more I pick up. The only thing I don't really like is, kind of puts the deer on edge a little bit, having predators around. And also, they mess with my cameras. I've had them tear them down, never had them wreck a camera yet, but they always lick the lens or sniff it, and you get smudges all over it. So, I don't know. Kind of neat to see, but I definitely see them enough down there. Here is another deer, another little 2-year-old, kind of a unique rack too. He's got, real tall antlers. I know we've had, over the past 5 years or so, we've had a lot of bucks with this similar trait. I don't know if it's genetics, I suppose, but real tall, not real wide, but goes up pretty tall, and, kind of a unique shape. So then after that, I had a bunch of these small guys, and then I flipped over to this picture, and I was pretty excited to see this. This deer's not a bad looking deer. I don't know yet on age. I still, he looks decent from this angle, like he could possibly be a 4-year-old, but I'll show you guys another picture in a second to where he kind of looks like a younger deer. I'm thinking he may be 3. I don't know. I'm guessing 3 or 4. I'm not sure. I did look back at a little bit of history, and I don't have any distinct history with him. I think he'd be pretty easy to spot with that really, really tall brow tine. I mean, both of them are nice, but that right side is really tall, and it's actually forked, and he's got kind of a different shaped antler on there. I don't know if maybe he had an injury. We have had a couple deer similar to this in the last few years with even a funkier antler on one side, and one of them was harvested 2 years ago, I believe, by our neighbor, and he found an arrow or a broadhead in the opposite side of the deer, right in the shoulder blade. So that kind of explained that. So I don't know if this guy maybe had an injury or if it's just genetic, but good looking deer. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, hopefully get some more pictures of him and kind of see what's going on. These were the only couple pictures here that I really had of him. I'll flip over to the next picture. But in this picture, you can kind of see that right brow tine's real tall and it's forked on the end. So I kind of like that. It's kind of a unique deer. But I don't know how he looks like a younger deer, especially from this angle too. I'll have to get a better look at him, and with no history, it's really hard to tell. But cool to see him. I mean, he's a good-looking deer. He'd definitely get the heart going if he came in, and you'd kind of have to look him over a little bit to see. But if he was 4, I would have no problem harvesting him. That's kind of what I'm shooting for down there, is 4-year-olds on this farm. I think that's a realistic goal, but we'll see. It's always kind of a game day decision when you see a deer like this. But definitely a nice looking deer. It made me pretty excited. I'm excited now to get more card pulls and see what else shows up. And I'll definitely show you guys that, whatever I find. Well guys, that's going to do it for today. You can see it's the next day. It got a little late last night on me after I got back and got those cards, or the card popped in the computer and checked out all the pics. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed seeing the new Hunt Fish drive machine here. Hopefully you'll be seeing quite a bit more of this thing. And it was good to check that first card pull of the year. That one deer is actually pretty decent. I'm pretty happy about that. It's a surprise. I'm still kind of out on how old he is. Not sure, and I don't know if I have any history with him, which makes it more difficult. But it'd be nice to get a few more pics sideways so I can kind of judge him a little bit better. and got a bunch of young deer. So that's not bad for a first card pull. I was out a couple weeks. Today I'm going to be popping up a bunch more cameras and try to get some more deer on there and cover a little bit more of the farm. So we'll see how that goes. But until next time, if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.